Yeah, I think my biggest learning at that time was about how much of my ego I needed to preserve and how much I needed to allow to fall by the wayside a little bit. You know, when you're a founder, you have to be prepared for a lot of rejection, a lot of disappointment, killing your darlings, as we said earlier on. All
Mm.
this sort of stuff is very new when you start your own business and you have a large group of people relying on you. Um, it was quite a difficult transition, I got to say, when I first did it, but I'm glad I did.
And I think that speaks also to your understanding of your mindset around mistakes. One of my clients told me that one of his concerns about going to the founder path, although he loved the lifestyle, he actually wanted the lifestyle, not just like building something of his own, but it was okay. I cannot make mistakes. I want to be sure I'm not going to make mistakes. And then I say I would change my mindset into I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes. And I'm prepared for that, even to fail my first attempt of company, of product, or anything else. If you are super strict or with what mistakes mean to you, it's going to be a lot of suffering, a lot.
Yeah.
And the worst, it will reflect on you. People will instantly think that if they made a mistake or they failed at an assumption or a product, that they failed. So it's a super focused, ego focused perspective on going right and wrong. And usually that happens with everything, not just becoming a founder, this decision. We give ourselves a lot more credit than the circumstances for the good and for the bad. This is psychological research. And sometimes it's just the circumstances. Sometimes you made a mistake and you don't know how to deal with that frustration, but sometimes it was not just the moment for that, or you had a pandemic, or you didn't go to the right partner, the co-founder, to do that. So learning to separate what is yours and what is circumstantial, it's super important along the path, not only to make this decision. Yeah, absolutely. It's that fixed versus growth mindset thing. It's that humility of realizing that your ideas are wrong. And I think absolutely what you said, Carol, like failure will happen. That and it's actually a good thing. You know, there are so many steps between idea and then successful business where the failure could happen. One of the bits of advice I used to give early stage founders was to work out what the thing that was most likely to make them fail and just aim hard at that and see if they could make it succeed. And then if they can't, that's great. We throw away the idea and move on to the next one. And if you don't fail at that, you move on to the next problem that you see as the kind of barrier to the business ever succeeding. And for me, a successful business is where you keep aiming at failure and just manage to miss every time, rather than aiming at success and just like straining really hard to try and keep it there, even though you know that the kind of there's this like big lurking failure monster around the corner that you're just not going to look at yet.